Everyone's just kind of done with the
I mean,
Skywalker thing.
Like ever since Disney took over, the Jedi are basically Marvel heroes, or were written like Marvel heroes.
They weren't like super jumping or any of that shit. Like they had glowy swords and they can move things with their mind, but it was supposed to be hard as fuck. Like it wasn't supposed to be like, oh, I just pointed things and I can just rip them off of walls. Like watch the original 3. Like Vader's supposed to be strong and he throws boxes. No, not fucking.
Throws them with like with ease. I don't know.
I'm not saying he wasn't strong, but like you know what I mean. Like the later ones, like they're flipping around and it doesn't seem like gravity matters anymore. And like what?
Well, in the original ones, also Vader wasn't trying to kill Luke.
That's
but he also was pretty messed up. He was also in a robotic body that doesn't work very well.
Also, crazy Star Wars powers or crazy Jedi powers aren't exactly something unique to the prequels. Like, look at anything
the Emperor had.
Look at anything from Legends. Like, they got nuts.
The extended universe.
Yeah.
But they didn't canonize any of that.
I mean, it was canon at the time. They decanonized it.
Stole from it poorly, I might add.
Well, okay, but at the time it was canon. Like before the prequels, like. What is now Legends? What was
then yes, Jedi did have unique powers. Fine, I'll grant you that. But I mean, the movies that they wrote with, especially with like Rey or whatever, are sad amalgamations of the Dark Horse comics and the original 3. I mean,
you should not. The Force I get is strong, but you shouldn't be able to stop a ship that can lift like just giant ship.
She stops a ship.
Star Killer.
No,
Star Killer is not canon at all.
So
Star
Vader
Killer fucking ripped a destroyer out of space. Like that's
so.
It was not. It was in low orbit. That's the difference.
okay.
In Obi-Wan, Vader stops a ship. Rey doesn't stop a ship. In Obi-Wan, Vader stops a ship. So clarify the DM's question of just like she's
ship.
Yeah, he like a ship is taking. Yeah, this is Darth Vader. He just grabs the ship and he's like.
He just like Vader, but I mean,
and it was at close range. Like it was like lifting out of the. Okay. Yeah, it was like lifting out of the hangar.
Darth Vader comics, and you'll see how like extreme Darth Vader like goes through, and he still powerful. Manages to win every.
I know you guys are Star Wars nerds. Have you guys read? It's one of my favorite Star Wars novels of all time. It's called Splinter of the Mind's Eye.
Nope.
That's an old one.
That is a deep dive. I recommend if you guys are honest Star Wars nerds, find it. It happens between Empire and Jedi. And it's about Luke and Vader, and it really dives into like who Vader is before they made him, before the prequels were written. It's a damn good book.
It's about like a super force crystal or something like that.
Yes, that is part of it. That's right.
I
read the cover.
I remember hearing about that one. I remember like
didn't get a lot because it
reading
wasn't
like the
part
synopsis
of a trilogy or anything like that. It was just a one-off. But I would say it was like an early version of the concept of what Rogue One is. It's just a really good standalone story in the universe. Talks about Vader and why he can't heal himself, and like I think that's Splinter of the Mind's Eye. Like why can't he just use the Force to heal himself? Other Jedi can. It discusses why. It's neat.
What was the thing? Up until recently, the Jedi's couldn't. There was never mention of Jedi's healing themselves.
It kind of a little bit.
Yeah, in the
like
EU,
in the EU,
like trances and stuff, and they can heal. There's some pretty like I meditated my way out of damage kind of.
Yeah, and there are like specific like. It talks briefly about like there being Jedi healers in like the old like pre the fall, pre the rise of the Empire. Like there being Jedi healers who like use the Force to heal other people, at least, or aid in the healing of other people.
Dark Horse.
And then I know in New Jedi Order it kind of like made a comeback. Like I remember like one of the the big named like quote Jedi healer in the New Jedi Order was like Admiral Akbar's niece or something like that.
Yes, and she was a healer.
It sounds kind of fishy to me.
I think they made the Sith ability self-repair. because that was like one of Palpatine's.
It was like selfish, because that was the whole thing. It's just like that was when it's just like the Sith, the dark side can't heal others, but you can use it to heal yourself because it's like a very self-centered power.
So I'm probably thinking
or whatever.
I think it's called Dark Sun. It's one of the comics where Luke goes to and he finds a Vader like temple, basically, and he tries to like anyway it's a long thing, but like Vader almost possesses his own kid, and then it ends up being Palpatine. Anyway. It's the plot that they stole the movies from. Like Palpatine jumps into different clones because he's too powerful.
Oh yeah, yep. Well, no. So in the actual thing, it's because somebody actually sabotaged his clones.
Really?
His clones were sabotaged. Yeah. By I can't remember who, and it wasn't that he took over Luke. It was that he was going to take over Anakin, the youngest child of Han and Leia.
Oh, that's right. And then we find out that the kid is Force powerful because he fights back too. I remember that part. It was like weird, but as a kid I fucking loved it. Well, as a teenager anyway.
Sorry, I was like a really hardcore Star Wars nerd for
my dad
a long time.
Well, think about it. Between Return of the Jedi and the prequels, there's a lot of years where there wasn't much Star Wars to go around.
Mm-hmm.
You had a couple children's movies and
books. If you wanted anything.
Yeah, comic books, a couple of kids movies, or TV movies. There was
why didn't they just use the EU stuff? I don't understand. It was so much better than what they have written now.
They don't want to pay the writers, probably.
Probably.
I think it's more or less just trying to make a new start, so that way they have the creative flexibility to do what they need to, or what they want to do.
I mean, hell, part of the reason that like the movies got remastered and re-released, the original trilogy, was so that George Lucas could cut his ex-wife out of the royalties.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Damn.
A lovely guy, because he doesn't have enough money.
Savage.
It's like
terrible. And they're already backing off of them. They're going to call that Legacy, and then they're going to move on with a new restart again.
Ooh,
well, they're doing another
extra stuff to the term.
They say they're doing another Rey movie.
Are they really? Maybe they backtracked.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, they've announced it, but who knows? They've gone through like apparently 10 scripts, and who knows? I mean,
I don't know.
It doesn't seem to be a good idea.
I don't think they treat their actors very well. Like I watched Solo, it wasn't bad, and they blamed it all on the actor. He actually was not bad.
Yeah,
they just kept on trying
no,
to
I
make
love
Harrison
Solo.
Ford.
Yeah,
and it didn't
was great.
fit. And the story was the part that didn't like it. At least to me, it didn't flow.
Yeah, I honestly
if they just did a story of young Han Solo, that would have been perfect. But they had to tie it into
all
the
that
first
extra
episode.
shit with all that dark No, just make him a smuggler and make it neat.
Yeah, and literally all you had to do was just remove. Exactly.
Right? When you watched that movie and loved it? All that his girlfriend is really a secret. He needs to have. No, fuck off.
And don't explain everything. I don't need to know where the fuzzy dice came from. You know what? Just make it the mystery of the fuzzy dice.
Yeah,
we'll never know.
That's what was cool about his character, and they totally missed it. They're like, we're gonna build it up from the bottom up. No, he's just a mysterious rogue character, literally. Keep that. Make it a younger version of that. Show us how he got skills, not who he was. Ugh, gross.
And like we learned who he was through the movies.
That's a great story.
Yeah, I mean that part I liked for sure.
Oh, that's why they did do it. That could have been its own thing though. I forgot they did do that. Yeah. Anyway, shall we get into the game, everyone?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. I read a little DM tip. I'm supposed to develop like a start phrase for the game. Get us all in the mood. What should my DM catchphrase be to get us all going?
I will give you guys each $50.
Stop almost dying, you bastards. All right.
Good news, your credit card's cleared.
Stop almost killing us, you bastard.
I just open doors and charge in.
Hey, I close doors and everyone gets mad at me. Ooh.
I don't know if I had barred Zephyr from that entering the combat, how would that have gone for you guys?
I don't recall how much damage he did.
Remember,
I think he's done fine. Like
because the thing
he didn't join until like the very end, though. Like
but Ballast did grab the aggro from Raised Zephyr.
Yeah,
that's true.
Sure.
Well, also it wasn't originally going to be Sir Ballast posting at that door.
Well, yeah.
It was going to be somebody else. That probably would have TPK'd you all. Anywho.
That would have been fine.
With that, so the party has just completed combat. Imagine the party is rather bruised and battered, but they definitely found a rather large ritual uncovered within the bowels of this place, along with some notes of not just the casters in the room, but some things explaining what happened to that individual and some of those people in there. Battle was challenging, but you all prevailed, and you feel yourselves approaching a precipice. Something that perhaps you've heard other adventurers talk about. There is a bit of a wall when you get to the end of the 9th level. You're approaching a new tier of adventuring, and many adventurers never really make it past the wall, and they tend to stagnate here. But that fight was a challenge, and it seems to have brought you all closer to that threshold. But with that, a new figure has appeared within the castle. His name, I believe he's given his name as Sir Ballast at this point. But beyond that, I'm going to give the game to you guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
We need to figure out who this guy is. We can't bring him to the tower until we do.
Okay, let's pull back into that room.
Yeah, I agree.
One entrance, one exit.
To the tower. You
Come on.
You mean you are speaking of the building's tower?
Yes, we are. Walk and talk, please. And he's gonna start. He's gonna pick up Zephyr's corpse and carry it.
Oh, yes.
I was gonna say drag it, but I forgot that Zephyr's like probably small enough that even Audrey can pick him up probably.
Yeah.
You give him a dignity by accident.
Shut this door. Shut. And I'm going to take a step. What does Sir Ballast look like?
Yeah, I could use a refresher as well.
Yeah. Well, narratively, I can describe it. I did post a more higher quality turnaround video in the general chat for you if you want to get a higher quality look at the added model.
Cool.
Nice.
Did you do that?
When you're subscribed to Hero Forge, you have an option to where you can actually download a turnaround GIF of your model.
Very cool.
Oh, when you're subscribed?
Yes.
Okay, so you have big things flowing off the top. You have how tall are you, give or take? Just to get inside.
Say about 5 foot.
Okay. All right. 5 foot.
But
How?
he looks very very thick, well built.
So sort of 5 foot tall, 5 foot wide type deal.
Not really, but I mean he's pretty much a dimensions of a very, very heavily armored dwarf.
Okay.
Or a refrigerator. Right. A little mini fridge bag.
Okay, and he carrying a sword. A hammer and a shield.
Yes.
Okay. Right.
And when you look into the eye slit of the helmet, you do not see a face, but you do see a green flame.
I'd actually like to ask for a history roll from Audrey at this one.
Okay. History. 19 for a total of 19.
Very nice. I mean, that definitely beats it. So your missing memories must be very frustrating at this point. But seeing Sir Ballast, I mean, yeah, you're Zibilna's cleric. They hit those really well.
Yeah.
Seeing Sir Ballast walk in, though, you pierce through that veil a bit, and you get a memory of this place again. You don't just see Sir Ballast, you see multiple versions of Sir Ballast working the grounds in the facilities. You recognize him as a
lawnmower.
What's that?
He's a lawnmower. He's being pushed. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
More like an automated caretaker of the grounds. They can even be used as practice dummies. They could be put into a training mode and be used by the students here for battle practice. But the memory snaps back, and you can see clear signs that this particular unit has been very heavily modified. There's spell work and rune work etched very heavily all throughout his frame. That's definitely custom.
Were they all called Sir Ballast?
I'm gonna leave that up to Sir Ballast.
I'd say the automatons only use names they were given.
Gotcha.
So this one specifically was just called Ballast, probably originally, but Sir was added probably as a joke by like students that started it and stuck.
They started calling him Sir Ballast because I imagine he was a bit quixotic.
Hell does that word mean?
I don't know what that word means.
What?
In reference to Don Quixote.
I don't know what
Don
that is
Quixote?
either.
What
I
does
don't know.
quixotic mean?
Jesus Christ. Don Quixote. It's the main character of Don Quixote.
Yeah, I know who the fuck you're talking about now. Okay.
Yeah. So quixotic is the word. Senior level. Just it popped into my head. Senior level English class of just like, oh yeah, quixotic. It's a word used to refer to anything that's like Don Quixote-esque of like delusional.
Idealistic, but kind of out there.
Won't you turn D&D into Scrabble, you bastard?
Look, we're here to express our imagination. All right, we're not here to learn.
I couldn't spell that word if my life depended on it. If someone's like, I'm going to murder your entire family if you don't spell this word right, I'd be like, all right, here's the knife. I got none.
It's just exotic with QUI instead of an E.
There you go. Now your family doesn't have to die.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Yeah, remember that. Learn something.
I'm quixotic against spelling. I never liked it.
You're idealistic but irrational?
It's actually probably true about a lot of things. Not me in real life.
Anyway. With spelling.
Anyway, point is, like, the kids probably did it to make fun of him because they're just like, oh yeah, he acts like a real fancy, like, Mr. Knight with, like, the sirs and the courtly graces and blah, blah, blah. We're gonna start calling him Sir or something like that.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
He was a practice opponent, and so it's Sir Ballast again. Okay, who wants to spar with Sir Ballast?
Yeah, Sir Ballast, do you have a job that would have been specifically yours that you would like, or would you like to be like a more of a general service unit?
No, he was specifically worked under the school quartermaster, especially for the more martially inclined students, preparing their arms and armor.
Nice.
And making sure they probably trained with him, at least.
Okay, so this is a... I'm sorry, did you get... And Audrey will turn to us and then turn to the automaton. Did you give us your name?
Yes, it's Sir Ballast.
This is... Sir Ballast. Sir Ballast. He's one of the school automatons. There are several like him, but this one is mine. Sorry.
Had a combat Roomba?
No. There are several like him. They did various tasks on these grounds, I think. But this one's been greatly modified. Customized? Yeah, customized. Like, look at all that scroll work, and he's got, like, look, he's magic, and that equipment that he's got is unusual. Where did you come by this? And he directs that at Sir Ballast. It's just like he's pointing at like all the like extra shit that he's got.
Yes. Well, all of these are blessed, very thankfully, by Mr. Drow Firecloak, the Keeper of the Eternal Flame.
Do I recognize that name?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Can I do a religion check, or is it like Keeper of the Eternal Flame? Is that like something important, or is that just something local?
Actually, I don't know, Sir Ballast. Is that like a regular D&D comment, or is that something custom?
Oh no, it is a very traditional Forgotten Realms god.
Oh, I am not familiar with that one, so I will let you field any questions about that. Actually, yes. If you have any of it.
Anyway, draw. I mean, I guess you could probably do a religion check. I mean, the thing is that it's a bit of a forgotten god, or lost a lot of prominence. I mean, you fucking absolutely know this dude because of your bookwork. Draw Firecloak is a god that used to be part of the Elven pantheon. He was a god of the Forge domain for the elves, but after the spell plague, he lost, or not spell plague, but after one of the Drow gods, I can't remember the exact one off my head, gave a artifact that corrupted a lot of his, almost all of his followers, and so he had to go and kill them all because they all got turned evil.
Oh, that's not a good day at work.
Yes. So he ended up falling out of the Elven pantheon due to losing most of all of his members, and then he transferred over into the Celestial realm. And he basically rebranded into Draw Firecloak and started gathering up members again, which is why he's not very picky about his members. It's also he's also now the keeper of the Eternal Flame, which is a very specific holy flame used to combat the elemental evils.
So, who specifically here upgrading? Changed you?
His symbol is also two hands holding a blaze of green flame, which is also what is inside the suit, which we just see as green flame.
Are there others like you here, or
you wouldn't know? You just woke up.
Yeah, I figured as much. That is a great question. I would give you a point if you were a student, but no, I just woke up. I have no idea where my compatriots are as of this moment.
Where did you wake up exactly?
Down the hall to the left.
Alright.
In the door that you burst out of when you joined that fight? Okay.
Yes, that one.
So, Audrin, you remember him? Or you remember this?
Not him specifically. No, just others like him.
Did they have green fire inside them, or is this different?
DM.
We really didn't discuss that.
The green flame is unique to him because of Dral's Firecloak. because of the god he worships.
Gotcha, but the others have flames in them. You're just different colored.
That can work. I mean, with if there are others taking them, then yeah.
Yeah, we'll make the green flame unique to him now. But normally it would have been Zabilna Blue.
I go over to Audrin. Can you sing to it? Because I want to make sure there's no hag stuff involved.
No, I do have a name. It is Ballast, not it.
Apparently, has very good hearing.
But the singing doesn't really work that way. The singing isn't anti-hag detection.
I just want to see if, like, maybe there's if it's the hags are behind it, maybe it will shake something up. Actually, I'm going to say this to his mind. Like, I just want to make sure that if we're going to bring this thing into the tower, that it's not going to try and do something from the inside. That we're not basically breaking down the defenses by letting something that should be inside. So, is there anything you could do to kind of like check it or test it?
Really?
Are there questions you can ask it? I don't know.
I barely remember these things. I don't. Sir Ballast, what was the last thing that you remembered before you went to sleep?
What I remember was the quartermaster was saying something to me, and ended up casting something which turned me off.
Was it really that offensive? Sorry, I had to make that joke. Do you know why he would do that?
I remember from his words, they were relating something to that the castle was under attack, but something about safeguarding something, his work.
So the castle was under attack, and they turned off a security, a defense person.
Well, he says he was assistant to the quartermaster, which is a lot more than just arms and armaments.
Okay.
And these were general purpose helpers. Like, I'm sure there were those tasked with defense, and I'm sure they were all capable of combat to some degree or other, but it wasn't their purpose per se.
Okay.
That's my recollection of these, which he just kind of points his head and does like a little scrambling motion. His own head, not Sir Ballast.
Yeah, I was going to leave it to you and Godwin to figure out how to vet this thing, since you guys were students at Zabilna's College for Wayward Haglings.
Sir Ballast, do you remember me at all?
Let's see.
Yes. And do you want me to tell you your browsing history? No, it's okay. I trust you.
Clear. No, I just need it cleared. Clear the history. Clear the history.
I'm not going to do any specific relation between the two of you at this time.
Yeah.
I'd say, quite frankly, you don't really seem the martial sort. I doubt I have specifically dealt with you.
Fair enough. I guess. Rude. What about him? And he points at Godwin.
gonna go with the same response for now.
Yeah.
I don't really see the arms or armor. I doubt I made anything for you either, dear boy.
Oh, so you made things?
Yes. I procured the arms and armor for the more martially inclined students that were taught over in the training fields.
All right.
As it seems both of you are spellcasters, I doubt I really made any pieces of equipment for either of you.
No, not my recollection. I'm not even sure how much time I even spent here, but who knows.
Sir Ballast, would you mind if I attempted to read your thoughts?
No, I don't think I've had that happen before. Go for it.
01.
So I'm going to cast Tech Thoughts at a 3rd level, because that's all I got left. I don't think it scales up, though. So it lasts for a minute, so I cast it, and I start asking questions. Okay, have you ever met a hag? And, I'm trying to sense his, I'm trying to read his thoughts. I'm, like, doing the kind of the offensive when he knows I'm doing it. I'm not just shooting surface thoughts.
You might get like little fractured images of an older woman. All right. So you would get fractured images of what you would probably recognize as the Hourglass Coven, but they're just snapshots. It's unclear what's happening, and it seems to have been the period when he was shut down.
Okay.
No, I don't recollect any hags. I've heard of hags, but I've never personally met one. I'd rather not. Nasty old woman from I've heard.
So while you were at the school, you served Zybilna?
Yes.
Did you ever turn from Zybilna's service before you were awakened?
No.
Did you ever be... Okay. Well, here's an interesting try. Maybe since he was off during part of the time, did you ever meet Zybilna's second paladin? That's the one we don't. That's the one who got wiped out, right? The memory, because the first one took on the circus and left.
Yes.
Yeah, he was turned off.
Actually, yeah, he would have. He totally would have.
Okay. Do you remember what the second paladin's name, or what she looked like, or what they looked like?
You wouldn't get a name yet, but you would still see a male Harengon, but like a jackalope. He has horns.
Okay.
And you'll probably have that image of like of Ballast handing over like a sword or something, or is it something to them while they were here?
I will say one thing. You get when you can't see the Harengon's face, but you do see what you would know from your own memories. He was wearing like an instructor's uniform of this facility occasionally, and you get a little bit of his fur as well. It's he's a light-colored Harengon, browns and whites.
You mean any harm to us, or would you, or Zybilna's interests?
But I mean harm to anybody who counters Zybilna's interests.
And do I think that's a truthful answer?
Yeah.
All right. As far as I can tell, he checks out. Okay.
All right.
I think we get back to the tower as quickly as we can.
Agreed. What about this one? Do you recognize this one? He points at Zephyr.
Yes, I do. Actually, very fast fellow. I could never catch up to the lad in any sense of the word.
Yeah, that seems to be part of the issue. Oh well.
Alright, let's
what are you guys doing?
Yeah. We're just gonna. We should sneak back to the tower. Bring him back as well.
Before we go, that's Zephyr. Yenris, can you cloak our movements a little bit?
Yep. Beat me to it.
Absolutely.
Thank you. All right. We're going to carefully hustle back to the tower, not opening any new doors, not trying to basically follow our path back and stay out of trouble.
Go ahead.
Okay. I think our characters would know the way better than we do. So can we
remember the way? It's straight down the hall.
I remember it.
Oh, and we take the books. We take the books that are here. And we don't have time to take. Is there any crystal that's lying around now, or any shards of the red crystal that are broken off?
That are broken off? No, but they are in the room. So you guys can travel down this way, straight down the hallway. You're gonna want to hang a south bend there.
Yep.
And then blammo. Let's follow the stairs up.
Yep.
And
So there's no
I won't
crystal
make you roll since you passed without a trace.
So there's no crystal I could just take with me?
No, that you can just grab now. You'd have to.
Wait, before we go,
Whoa,
is this guy in the crystal still alive?
You know what? Well, he probably would have gone undead.
It's a good question for another day. Let's get the hell out of here.
I think he would have been converted undead.
E.
Got off the world. Slider. So, since you're all moving around, but let's say narratively you make it back to the tower. What is everyone's intention once there?
Long rest. Long rest. Longer than long. Extra long rest.
Yeah.
Long rest with a nap.
Up for another 2 days.
Well, you are indeed safe within the tower. So, I will give you all, you can all take a long rest freely.
Yep.
But for some narration, what is everyone doing for the long rest? Besides, if you're just sleeping, that's fine.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask if before I go to sleep, excuse me, I would like to cast Druidcraft. And if you would allow me, I would just like to make a bunch of big leaves grow around Zephyr's body.
Sure.
And sort of wrap him up, mummify him in big old dark green leaves.
Sure, I have no problem with that. Yeah, you can chain cast Druidcraft.
Beam. That's what I do.
All right. Well, Zephyr goes into a leafy cocoon. I don't think he wants to chat much. Do you say anything, or do you just tiredly just start doing this?
No, it's definitely like a mournful process for Yenris. I think this is probably what the people from his community do, is that they would, envelop the body in leaves and bury it. But I don't think. I'm of the opinion that this is not where Zephyr would want to be buried, so he's doing the first part.
Fair enough.
Well, there are fairies outside the castle. Do you think, is there a specific burial ritual that we should do, or leave him in the tower, or should we give him back to the other fairies?
If I remember properly, the fairies that we met were not Zephyr's clan.
No, but they knew of his clan.
Well, I think we should ask them what they would do, and if they know of his clan nearby, I think that would be, or know of their burial rites. It would not. This, of course, wouldn't be the same as his family doing it, but we might be able to put him at rest.
That I have no problem with that.
Agreed. Seems like the best thing we can do to honor him.
Okay, so after resting, Diago's going to start looking through the ritual books for, scanning for anything important, notes, or the intent behind it, the drawings of the runes, any explanation of them, and do some of them appear? Some of them probably appear, familiar to him. But just get a general sense, like, was the whole ritual designed to turn someone into a lich, or turn them into undead, or what were they trying to do?
I was only caught half of that. You're going through the book trying to see if you can understand what was said there, or what they were doing.
Yeah, what was the intent? Like, just slipping through it, because it's like, put it this way, like, if you're a computer programmer and you start looking through a program, you're gonna clue in pretty quick, especially if you've seen the program run. Probably what it's trying to do. Like, obviously he turned into undead. There's undead stuff going on. So I know there was a crystal that was pulling power from the other crystals, and they were. So was the intent to become undead, or was that just like a side effect, or what were they trying to do? And break down some of the runes that were in there. Was there anything weird?
Did you read the excerpt I sent at all?
Oh, I did not. I am so sorry.
No, that's fine. Don't worry about it. They're always extra. They're like books in WoW. You can or you can't. It doesn't.
I say it is an interesting read if you do get to it.
Well,
I planned this past week was just very, very, very busy.
But yeah, if you flip through it, you'll see notes and diagrams, several, and a quick synopsis would be Zybilna had been trying to prepare for the. She was trying to prepare. She was trying to figure out a way to separate the chaotic magic from the raw aether magic. She wanted to be able to channel it and use it safely. And she had discovered that one of the best ways to store aether magic was to make it into aether ice magic. She had developed a ritual to do this, and she originally thought that she would use ice, those talented with ice magic to channel the ritual. But they very quickly started showing signs of bleed through. Their bodies started to show the rot. So instead, what she did was she modified it further, and she used a fire mage instead. That worked much, much better. He was able to channel the ritual and burn off the aether as it was growing into the ice. But when she fell, the hags took it a level further, and they forced the ritual. Basically forced him to kind of the caster to burn out completely. I have to remember my own notes on the matter, but the lichification was a bit of an accident, and the hags didn't actually stick around to find out what happened. He didn't turn into a lich until the battle with you guys.
So basically, the fire mage, the fire crystal is a more efficient battery.
Yes.
And it filters out the bad stuff better. But in doing so, it maybe feeds on the caster's life force.
Something like that. She was able to figure out a way to basically make the ritual itself take all of or at least the majority of the chaos, but she wrote in the notes that it was getting very expensive. The ritual kept on breaking down. So it was possible, it worked, but it was nowhere near as efficient and required a lot of catalysts that were very expensive. The hags tried to skip all that and just use the caster himself because they didn't really care what happened to him at the end. And the very final notes are the caster's own hand trying to essentially undo what they did. He's trying to back navigate what was done to him, and he was more or less using the others in the room as what's the word I want to use? He was using them as batteries, basically. He was like taking all the chaos from himself and shunting it into them, trying to literally burn it away. He was doing okay until you all showed up. Mm-hmm. It would have taken... He probably would have died a natural death before he had succeeded, though.
So I'll relate that information saying the point of the ritual was not actually to make him undead. It was sort of to some degree to reverse what was happening to him. He had, the process they used poured a lot of the chaos magic into him, and that was the witch rot would have grown on him. So he was trying to push that into the others beings that were there to kind of become more human. He didn't do it very well. It didn't work, and you saw what happened to him and the other ones that were there.
It would also be clear from the writings that she had started this process before she had access to the Witchwoods.
Gotcha. And basically, she seems to be trying to do what the Witchwoods do naturally.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Can I know we're in the tower and we've already rummaged through this place, but can I look to see if I can't find like a faculty roster and a student list?
I think that's interesting, sure.
I'm guessing an investigation would
be... guidance.
You have another guidance in the group.
I got a 16.
That's not too bad. With a 16,
actually, I'm gonna use my heroic inspiration to reroll that 20. I'm gonna see if I can get it a little bit higher. So 11, 4 plus 2, 26.
Okay. Yeah. All right, hold on.
I want to find this. Okay.
We roster the hell out of that.
Because mainly what I want to see is like what positions people sort of had. Like the hags, of course, had their own like little sections within this place, but I'm wondering if there's like more specific things that they were looking into, or if it was just general research.
Yeah. Okay. So with the 26, yes, you do find what you're looking for. I don't have a list of students ready, but you definitely find one. And you can tell that there was Time in Prismere is a little wonky, but there was only 2 classes at this place ever. It was still pretty new, even with their ability to distort time. You have a list of professors there, though. Find it for a second. One second. This. Okay. So this place's official name is the Twilight Sanctuary, and you would see official faculty roster. The first one is the title is Warden of the Silent Grove, and the name is Elder Root Gloom. I don't know about this guy here. Hang on, I opened the wrong note. Sorry. Listed vessel NPCs. I haven't. Damn it.
Don't you just hate when, your players make you go back and search for stuff and you're like, I had it, and now you're making me do this? What the hell?
I know I have this shit. Ugh. I'm gonna take all year with this. I cannot find where the hell I put it. Damn it all, it's gonna piss me off. Anyway, I should say. Let's not take all year with this, but yeah, there would be there is a master of the grounds. It is a tree ent. You get the impression from the name. There is there's a master at arms. There is an alchemy teacher. There is a drama teacher. There is a woodworking teacher. There is, let's see here. There is get the guy's name. Character from Zephyr's backstory. Who was your mentor at the castle, Zephyr? Or Sir Ballas now?
I don't believe I gave them a name.
Kill me not finding this list. What was his name? There is not to further frustrate you all, but I'm keeping this one pretty close to the chest. There's very clearly a name that's burnt out. Even on this list, even in here, it's not protected. The name is burnt. Probably Sibilna's Paladin.
That's what to say. What was there a title next? What was the title of the?
No.
Sorry.
What
was mystery? I got asked.
What did he do? Let me think. He was. I think he would have been like the magic, probably the magic dueling instructor here.
The instructor of the defense against dark arts.
Basically, yeah, he's kind of Snape in this scenario.
Mm-hmm.
As well as he would also have been the instructor of things like learning thieves' cant would have been under his purview. Codes and things like that, in other words. So his title would have had something to do with like encryption.
Skaven.
Defense against the dark arts and perhaps tactical thinking. I'm almost sure I said Master at Arms already, but yeah, there was somebody who taught martial class stuff. Sibilna herself. I don't make too much shit up. I do have a damn list. But yes, okay, sorry. You find a list. What, instead of me making all this shit up on the fly because I have it, what of specific interest are you looking for? Let's do it that way.
I want to look to see, are the hags named here and what they specifically were teaching / studying.
Fair enough. Roll me an insight. You've had some pretty close dealing with the hags at this point. If you can figure out their names from the roster.
I got a +0 on this insight, so
excellent.
We're just gonna see. That's a 17 though.
That's not bad. So 3 names stand out on the list for you. One of them is the what would she have done? Let me think. Well, one of them is definitely the drama teacher. She stands out as a hag. The other would have been the alchemy teacher, is very suspect. And the third What would she have done? I'm trying to think. What Bavlorna would have been up to inside the castle. Doesn't really have the same hobbies as the other two.
Is Bavlorna the one?
She might have been like the animal handler of the castle. But anyway, yes, sorry, I'm not DMing this very well. You can see that, yes, they were probably professors here. This is likely the role that they had in Prismere before they made a coup.
I guess. Well, since you don't have the list, I'm not going to ask really, but once you find the list, are there any names that I might recognize from, or
What, from
that
the-
Audrin might recognize?
From the Witchlight?
From the list, just to see if there's any names that we might recognize.
Mm-hmm.
The student roster, you mean?
From either from teachers or like, if we remember.
Oh, from either one.
anything.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
What names might you recognize? Let me see.
And if you,
I mean, Zephyr would have recognized the Mastered Arms name, but he's no longer with us. Sir Ballas would probably recognize most of the teacher names, but that's more of an annoyance for me until I can find them. You would see the name of one of your previous compatriots who has since fallen here. The one who had two names. He is listed
Gotcha.
here.
oh,
This was meant to be the culmination of his backstory in a lot of ways. But it is also central to what the hags are up to down here. Off the top of my head, no. You guys caught me off guard, and I don't want to make up a bunch of random shit. I feel like we're, I think like I'm dilly-dallying.
no, it's good. I mean, if you find the list, I would like to.
Yeah, as soon as I do, I made a note for myself to look.
Okay. Cool. Other than that, I don't have anything else that I need.
Anybody else?
I think so.
For this shit in the
So-
background.
We probably would spend some time like updating their ballast on just like what has been going on in Prismere to the best of his knowledge in the past like 10 years. It's like, hey, you've been out for 10 years.
That's fair.
Surprise.
The whole
Yeah,
world is
that's fair.
crumbling.
Sir Ballast, things have changed.
Yeah.
It'll be rather new to you, but some
Yeah,
time
I
has
didn't want to.
passed.
I didn't want to go through the whole thing of like asking about all the stuff that I know as a player is going on. So
Yeah, so
Yeah.
let's assume you've gotten a
Yeah.
decent update and you've had your little freak out moments. What? No. Anyway.
What
So-
happened to Isabella?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, no. If no one else has anything particularly pressing that they want to take care of, we can say that you all had you take a long rest. Nothing really eventful happens in the tower, or at least the castle that you know about. And we can pick up from there.
all right.
We level up, right?
No, you don't level up yet.
Honestly, that battle kind of crazy.
Yeah, someone died, DM.
DM, come on.
Well, I mean, yeah, but he also took the boss by himself into a hallway. So, I mean,
That's why he did.
No. Details.
I
Details. Someone
I
died.
believe a hero like that would want his fellow teammates to go on stronger.
To
and better.
languish at level 9.
Yeah.
I said that
You'd
you're
want us to
knocking
ascend.
against the precipice. That you've come against a wall that you've heard more seasoned adventurers talk about.
Okay, so the
ceiling of
answer
the
is to
average.
sacrifice more party members.
Yeah.
Got it.
That's what I'm hearing.
We need another sacrifice. Zephyr got us halfway there.
We're gonna need another one.
We need more blood.
And I'm
Angel
sure if
Atlas.
Zephyr was here, he would not bear any one of us ill will for what any of us did in the battle. He's very forgiving that way. No matter what doors were opened or closed, he would probably be very forgiving and very supportive of those.
He would close the door on that conversation.
I like where you're. I'm picking up what you're throwing down, man. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Well, all I'm expecting is a plaque of Zephyr's name on his favorite door of this castle.
I
Well, you know it.
can manage that.
We'll definitely find that door.
Oh yeah, that's true. We gotta figure out what door that is.
Alright, so we believe there's still a witchwood down here.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and there's lots of other stuff going on. We believe there's also red caps that are in here, because we have some boots.
Your red cap sense is tingling.
Oh yeah, they're around here. We know that we have a pretty good sense that they're above the mimic place.
Yes.
But we can kill them later. And we will.
Very magnificent.
Oh. That's what. Do you mind if I also take a look around to see if I can't find a map of this place?
Sure.
That's a really good idea, actually.
No one knows that yet.
Where should we head to next? I'm like, I don't even know any of these rooms.
Yeah, right. Same.
I will assist if there's some sort of investigation. I will assist, or if I'm better at it than.
I got a +11 on my investigation.
I'll offer guidance. I believe in you.
We'll see.
Investigation. Oh, you beat me. I have only +10, so yeah, I'll assist you.
So
you have assistant?
24.
You beat a 10. That's fine.
Okay.
You can find a map of the castle.
Very smart.
Place is
Good job.
fucking huge.
Me.
So, what exactly are you looking for? I'll give you a general. So you can see the general layout. You can see. It looks like the map was penned in Zabilna's hands, and it looks like it is almost a bit of a marauder. Not quite a marauder's map where you can see people walking around on it, but it does seem to like it updates naturally with the state of the castle itself, and. You have the outside, you have the arboreum and the maze. They're all listed. The Vilnius Tower is labeled there as well. But I mean, there's a ton of rooms in this place. But as you go, so you can either ask me specifically, or as you go through them, you can check on the map, and I can give you the name of where you're in. Or is there something specific that you're looking for?
Can I get a name for the places we have been? Like, I know we have Zabilla's Tower, but like the room we were just in, the sort of place that the mimics were, and the office of one of the hags. Just some of the places that we've been.
Sure. Okay. So the room with the mimics would have been labeled as the what would she have called it? Probably like the Rejuvenation Grove, something like that. It looks like it was set up specifically to grow like apple variety. So the Rejuvenation Orchard perhaps is the more appropriate term.
Gotcha.
Regenerative Orchard, something along those lines. Anyway, it does get you the idea of what's going on. The room you were just in, where you just had the battle, would have been the what would she have called a room like that? Probably would have called it a laboratory, honestly. Ritualistic laboratory, and there would be like little notes that as you focus on them, it'd be like clicking on it on a computer. It would pop up, and you would see some details about the ritual casting, and it would have some very simple notes about like this room is essentially for the crystallization and storage of raw aether in a crystallized stable form. Ritual version, I would say something like 17. And there would be notes about like vaguely stable, but then you would see like clearly broken currently, as the ritual is no longer functioning. Let's see here. Where else have you been? The Vilna's private study would be obvious to you. That's the one that you've already been to. You see a lot of general dormitories, study space for the students. A lot of the building, a lot of the rooms that you see with the greenery look like they, and I think you've already summarized it, or surmised this, I should say. They're specifically created to grow specific things. A lot of this castle is as much a garden as it is a school. And it was set up to grow rare varieties of basically whatever Zavilna fancied at the time. But lots of reagents, rare varieties of, again, whatever she was in the mood to cultivate.
Okay. Is there... I guess the next question would be, is there a room that has the word witchwood on it?
No.
Okay.
I will say one that it's an easy give for you guys is the room next to where you had the battles. The room that Sir Ballas busted out of is listed as the basically the infirmary.
Okay.
In fact, both rooms to either side of that hallway are listed as infirmaries.
Okay. Well, there was something in the other room. Oh. Sir Ballister, would you happen to know if there's another version of you wandering this place?
I mean, it's probably not out of the possibility. With the hags that apparently took over this castle and everyone was driven out, I would not put it past them to possibly, if they did make use of you.
You didn't serve. You said you were shut down?
Yes.
Okay.
You know why you would have been shut down in the infirmary? Or in one of the infirmaries? Is there many?
Yes, I remember that I was there to stand guard over the current injured during the siege. Though the quartermaster came up and said that they were sorry and they were going to shut me down to protect something, and then next thing I know, I woke up with a horrible sound outside the door, and then all of you were there, along with the Lich.
Interesting.
I made a very quick decision, but I like it a lot. One retcon. Instead of whatever I think I made her like the beast handler, one of the hags was definitely a nurse. It's a much better placement for her. The name just stands out to you. Whatever I have it on the list, I'm going to change it. That's way better. I have a note that says Castle Thither NPCs, and it has nothing to do with any freaking NPCs.
Uh-oh.
It's going to bother me. Anyway.
I got nothing else.
Well, I suppose if with how difficult that last fight was, I believe it may be advisable if we were to search through the infirmary and see if there are any supplies left in there. Even though it is old, it still can be useful.
Well, stuff in there is meant to preserve life, so perhaps it lasted a long time as well. Who knows?
And some things improve with age.
Yeah, you just left that infirmary. Are there still anybody in that infirmary?
I don't recall anybody else in there other than myself when I busted out of there. No.
That's accurate.
Okay. So, shall we head to the infirmary then?
We shall.
Yes, let us set off.
Yenris, if you would please.
Of course.
Of course.
Yes, without a trace.
Of course. More money.
Hey, the line, Yenris. Yay!
I know where those damn notes are, but I'll never find them if I look.
Yeah, now you're going to be prepping for something else, and then you finally come across those notes.
They're going to be in an NPC folder for some other adventure or something. That's the way it goes.
Don't worry, this is just an opportunity to retcon anything you want.
Yep.
Where are you? Your ballast wants to open it.
Close.
You want to close the door, okay.
Yep. He was not raised in a barn.
Lies.
He wasn't really raised anywhere.
That's true. Technically, you grew up here, just, you know, not quite.
Born and raised in the castle.
Alright, so you all are headed down the hallway again toward the infirmary?
Yeah.
Wherever everyone is headed.
We're gonna head to the infirmary where Sir Ballast was.
There you go. As soon as you all enter the room, well, I mean, I think it speaks fairly obviously for itself, but there are three pod-looking things. I'm not really sure how your characters would look at them. Tubes, certainly. But of relevance, you can see that there's obviously a whole bunch of rune work all around them. That is not original rune work. It's very obvious that was done, and it's all very intricate and very heavy, but it was done very likely by the hags after the fall. It doesn't have Zabilna's same flowing script in it. It wasn't just organically grown into the, she could have just changed the rune with a thought and had it be set in, whereas the runes that you're seeing are purely etched and scratched. But
Gotcha.
Looking at the room, it's the middle pod, I suppose, is clearly cracked, and there is likely a former student's remains are suspended within. He is clearly half encased by etheric crystal.
The infirmary definitely do seem to be in much more dire straits than I remember.
What color is the crystal that he's turning into?
You're going to see water and life crystal represented.
How big are the life crystals?
Fairly big.
All right. I think I'm going to try and harvest one. Does anyone mind if I take a couple minutes and try and get one of these crystals out for science?
Would you like help?
You haven't really.
Oh, I can assist. I can assistance. an endeavor.
Are you good with gems?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I start to take out my gem tools, and I inspect the crystal that I'm looking at. I try and find the largest one I think I could extract.
Okay.
And I kind of plan it out. I'm like, okay, what do I have to cut? What do I have to do here? What's my best way of doing it? Actually, let me also roll my my two fate rolls.
If I am giving him basically help to do this.
Yeah, he can have advantage.
Since I do have proficiency in jewelers.
Oh, cool. So I make sure my witchwood ring is firmly on my hand.
Yeah, that's good because you can see there's like raw chaos like arcing off of these things as you get near them.
I'm like, okay, I kind of talked to Junior. We're going to try and remove a crystal. If it tries to infect me, or do what you can. All right, so I'm going to carefully start. So how do you want to do this?
The advantage is gross, but yeah, it's. Do you want to do the 2d12s with the hope or fear, or do you want to use the roll a d20 and more or less we'll use DC 20's rules where like if you beat it by +5 you get additional stuff?
I think that makes more sense because I'm not trying to change anything. I'm just trying to carefully.
Yeah, and you're making a roll with jeweler's tools, so yeah. Let's just use the DC 20 rules in regards to aether crystals.
So I have advantage.
And roll with your jeweler's tools. Yeah.
So.
Forgot you're not really interacting with your witchwood. You're just trying to not get infected.
Yeah, the witchwood is more of like a protective thing.
Yeah.
All right. So I will do. So this is a check, right?
Yes.
So I'll do a check with my tools. I'm guessing I get dexterity on that as well.
Do you? I mean,
So,
I always forget what they do with the jeweler's tools. Dex would make sense. That sounds like what D&D would use.
So let me do a dex check. So it's a d20 plus 7.
Yeah.
It's 2d20 because I'm running with advantage. And am I getting guidance from anyone?
Yes, you're getting guidance.
And you're getting advantage from Ballast because he is also he has expertise as well.
Big bucks, no whammy. Oops, that fell down. Okay, so a 19. So I have a 27.
27, and you're trying to extract the largest life crystal you can, correct?
Yes.
Okay. 27. You would get a. Yeah, you do very well. And with the additional help, I believe you're going to get your first. I think I have the correct updated one. You're going to get a 9-sided life crystal.
A 9-sided. Oh, okay, but that's uneven. So
yes.
So 9 sides. So I'm gonna have to refine that later.
That's the correct math.
That's almost exactly what I wanted.
While you're either one of you who are cutting them, if you're interested, give me a either an investigation or an insight as to what you're dealing with here.
I'll do an investigation.
Sure, do an insight. That'll be a 19.
I got a 26.
26, nice. Okay. With a 19, you can tell that. Okay, so with a 19, it's pretty obvious that a majority of the crystals were grown right from the corpse that's in front of you, almost like the way fungus would grow off of a corpse, but instead they are life and water aether crystals. With the 26, you're able to tell that all of the crystals originated from inside of these cylinders that you see before you, these pods. That's actually true of all of them. All of the crystals started within and grew outward, cracking the shells.
It has to revive them or to heal some? Can I take a look at these runes as well while he's chipping away at these crystals?
You say it again, you're a little quiet.
Sorry, I got... can I take a look at the runes while he's chipping away at the crystals?
Sure, certainly.
Chipping away? How dare you, sir?
What else are you doing?
Taking
what are you trying to glean from them? Are you just generally investigating?
Massively extracting these volatile crystals from its matrix. Obviously.
What he said.
But you can do investigation, sure, arcana.
I'm actually gonna do an arcana check because I want to see. What I'm specifically looking at is, are these trying to not revive, but like heal in a different way besides, your traditional magical healing?
Okay.
I want to see. It's the same plus 11 to this. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. So as you inspect these rune circles and all the rune script, it becomes very apparent very quickly that these are not spell forms that were created for any kind of healing whatsoever. In fact, these are spell forms that deal more with the mind. There's a lot of spell work related to dreams, memory repair and replacement. There's a lot of very heavy charm spells worked in. That's that seems to be the focus of what the hags were doing.
Okay. Because what I'm trying to glean is, are they using it? Because you say the crystals are coming out of the pipes. Are they using it for healing purposes? Like, I understand it's an infirmary, like that's the point of it. But like, are they using the chaos crystals to heal, or are they using it to sort of revive? Like, is it more of a revival chamber than it is?
So, the rituals that are etched in post have nothing to do with any kind of revival. They're entirely related to dreams, mental states, memory, things like that, and manipulation of the aforementioned. So you don't see any of that present. There's nothing like to increase healing or rejuvenation, anything like that.
Okay.
But let me think. Would you know about properly mixed and refined, bathing in a solution made of like healing energy and etheric, like water infused with mana, would be a pretty powerful healing solution.
Okay.
Actually, let me ask Yenris to chime in here. Yenris, if you were going to make draw some parallels between your history with alchemy and what you see around you, how do you think that might manifest? Like, what skill would you roll for that?
Sorry, I've been eating granola for the past 15 minutes, and it's really loud in my head. Could you repeat to me what I see around me specifically?
Well, the infirmary itself has 3 pods. I keep on changing what I'm calling them, and I'm trying to refer to them as pods. That have etheric crystals growing out of them, so much so that they damage the pods. Looks pretty much beyond repair, at least in this room. The crystals are entirely water and life energy. But looking at them and the pods themselves, if you were going to draw any similarities, or if you were going to glean anything from your history with alchemy, what do you think would be appropriate to roll?
Nature?
Sure.
I wish I did. Oh, yeah, probably nature.
Yeah, I'll allow it.
It's not a good role of mine, but I shall do it regardless. I'll guidance myself.
Cool.
Hey.
Hey.
Negative 1 for an 18.
Plus my guidance.
It's honestly more the smell in this room than anything. But something about it reminds you of the same smells that you get when you're concocting healing potions.
I think less so just resurrection and more healing, repairing. I've smelled a lot of healing potion primer in my life, and this is giving me this is drawing a lot of similarities. Perhaps
ironically, those healing ingredients cause cancer. Who'd have thought?
No, we don't know that yet.
Where's your proof? I need proof.
RFK's on it.
Show me your studies. Peer reviewed.
Peer reviewed.
And there's a man who ran over a bear who says it works.
Oh shit! Well, I guess he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah. See, it is peer reviewed by the Vilna Patriots.
How else would I? No, I'm not gonna. Ignore me. I didn't say anything.
No, I'm not gonna let you fully know. Figure that shit out yourself.
There's other information here, but I don't want to just give it away for free.
Well, looking at the room, I'm going to turn around and see a bunch of books.
Oh,
Almost like it's designed, to keep track of information. Flip.
Ancient records. That's a HIPAA violation.
Who keeps records? Ew.
Alright, so yes, you find several ledgers and books, and interestingly enough, it's not what you might have expected for an infirmary. It's not a list of injuries or like a stockpile of different drugs and medicines and whatnot. Instead, it reads more like an alchemy recipe, and it looks like whoever was working in here was monitoring the different levels of solution that was filling these tubes. Information would be there. It looks like they were using the primary. Hang on, I'm trying to collect my thoughts here. The solution was primarily a mix of alchemical reagents that are related to healing and rejuvenation. Yenris would recognize a lot of the ingredients as used in health potions, as well as higher like revitalization rejuvenation potions. One of the key ingredients looks to have been a syrup, I guess, made from tree ant apples.
Huh.
Syrup from tree ant apples.
Oh, sorry. Before we left, I would have cast the ritual of breathe underwater. That's part of the standard thing. Yeah, okay, thanks.
That's our group ritual that we all attend.
Yeah, it's sort of a team building exercise that stops you from drowning.
Okay, everyone in a circle, holding hands.
Alice, do you need to breathe?
No, I don't actually.
Okay. Interesting.
I thought I was gonna narrate this, but I'm just gonna make it more obvious. Whoever has a particularly keen sense of smell, you're having a bit of deja vu as as you get closer to the cracked pods. The scent that's given off is not just similar to some of the stages of a health potion. It distinctly reminds you of your battle with the mimic matriarch.
Well, those were probably the apples that they were harvesting.
Yeah.
Well, I'm actually just gonna take these the papers.
Give me, while you're there, I hate to make you do another investigation, but give me an investigation roll, please.
I would love to do another investigation roll.
Excellent.
One of my best skills, honestly.
And I add this
Plus 11, that's true. Go nuts.
Natural 20.
Whoa!
Shut up.
Right.
So making that what, a 31?
This room, nothing's gonna lift unturned. All right, listen.
All right, that's it. I'm not gonna make you roll for anything else. You found everything you can possibly find. Someone had to go BRB.
That was Sir
Alice.
Ballas. That's good because this is immediately relevant to him. You're going to find the blueprints for an automaton like Sir Ballast, but they are heavily scribbled on and over. You know what? It's 10 o'clock. I didn't give you guys any kind of break. Why don't we take a 10-minute break right there since he's AFK anyway, and we'll come back and we'll discuss the notes that you just found.
Okay.
All right, let's do that.
Much like Star Trek, I want to see if there's an off switch for data.
Oh, let's look at the schematics.
His strings have been cut. Episode. What am I watching right now? Invincible, liking it, and Severance, semi-liking it.
I love Invincible. It is such a good. Good.
It's fun. It's fun.
It's one of those like superhero things that you're sort of like, you think it's not going to be like that like big, but the writing and acting is just so good.
I like it that like the normal people are like, okay, we have a Superman like person here. What do we do if he goes bad? How do we protect ourselves against him? Which is really the first thing everyone would do.
Yeah, honestly, that's like the most normal human thing I've ever heard in my entire life. It's like, crazy superhero can just rip you in half with little effort.
How do we kill him?
How many nukes do we have?
Yeah. What will kill this thing?
Yes.
Turns out you just need a ringtone.
That does make sense, though. If you're flying, just like how you normally walk, run, and lay down, your equilibrium is all in your ear. It tells you like what sort of angle you're at.
Like a tiny bit of fluid in your ear, right?
Yep. So if you disrupt that fluid, it throws your balance pretty much all the way off.
Do you watch the show? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, because they found like a natural sound that bothered him. Like, okay, let's make copies of that and analyze it. I like it's like he tears out his earpiece. It's like, how come this is still bothering you? He's like, well, you took out the earpiece in your ear, not the one we put inside your head when we were fixing you up.
Yeah, not the one we drilled inside your skull.
And I liked how that freaked everyone out, but it's totally what he would have, like what anyone would have done.
Yeah, especially when your father just ran or used you to kill thousands of people.
Destroyed a good chunk of Chicago.
Yeah.
You know, I like the stuff too, like, well, Eve can make constructs, but she doesn't know how to do, she doesn't understand, like, structure at all. So she takes an architecture class, like, okay, that makes sense. Smart move. kind of cocking out already.
I'm back.
Okay.
So I think I'm going to wait for a day where I have a really good important roll, a fate roll, and then like adjust the gem from a 9 facet to an 8 facet.
Nice, yeah.
You got a 9 facet?
Yeah, just got one. I rolled a 19 at a plus 7 and a plus 1. So yeah, it was a crazy roll.
Jeez.
Got very lucky. Yeah.
I would wait for a important roll, so that way you get another high level, and then just use the 9th level as a nuke. Just in case of emergency, slam 9.
I might be able to do something with it that ups my intelligence by 1.
Ooh.
Yeah. And right now I have a 21 intelligence.
What color did you get the gem?
White. I think life is white if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it is.
Because I believe life affects intelligence.
I thought it would affect wisdom.
I would have. Yeah.
He's changed it a couple times. I can't remember where he has the document now because all our
It should be in
documents are.
Discord somewhere.
It's in Discord. You don't say.
The last time I saw it, life was affected intelligence, and I've been waiting for one because, like I said, like when he gave us a stat bonus a long time ago, like I took it in intelligence. He's like, really? I'm like, yeah, because that's the thing that the Ahako values the absolute most, and if you can ever find something that another thing that ups it, it's a big deal.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
An extra spell. I believe my DC goes up.
Yep.
Excited. Level 10. Is that when we get an ACI at 10?
No.
I'm not quite level 10, am I?
But you get one like every 4 levels in your class. So like I think you've taken what 2 levels in Artificer?
Yeah, so I would get one.
Yeah, if you're taking another one if you're taking your 8th level in Wizard, then yeah.
Yeah. And there's one called, it's a Kryn, it's from Kryn, it's like, Adept of Higher Magic or something like that. Like where I saw it.
Oh, I found the crystal stuff. It's in lore notes. It's underneath the spell scroll cost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for the 10th level, I think you take the feat Initiate of Higher Sorcery or High Sorcery. Get an extra cantrip, and I get to choose between 2 spells to always have prepared: Comprehend Language, Detect Good and Evil, Protection from Good and Evil, and Shield. I'll definitely put Shield in there just because I always prepare it, so it gives me effectively another spell to memorization.
I am back.
Cool.
Heal.
You guys had me on the back foot tonight. Simple questions. I don't know why. Like, most unprepared for a session I've been in a while.
Hey,
Yeah, it's like, oh, my players want to have fun? Okay, wait. Hold on. I did. Damn it.
and you suggested
have fun? I'm against that.
We're having fun, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, God, they're actually prepared, and I'm not. What is happening?
You're like asking me questions. I don't fucking know. Who goes here?
What do you mean? I don't know. This thing is healing him. Okay, what else do you want?
I noticed I really seem to freeze up if I know I did something and I can't fucking find it. It sends me into like a loop that's hard for me to get out of. I have to like, all right, let's have a break. I know it exists. I know there's an NPC list, and I'm going crazy. But I did remember 2 things. So yes, one, I do really like that one of the hags worked in the infirmary, like as the head nurse. I'll give her name later between sessions. But our relevance on the student list, you would have seen 2 names that I won't make you roll for. I probably should have, but you'll never figure it out without it. Anyway. One of the mages that you fought against in Neverwinter during that the encounter where a bunch of them turned to smoke, you would see one of the female casters' names on the list of students. There was also an article in a newspaper at Neverwinter about a certain white sword wielding dwarf who had been running around the city fighting etheric monsters. His name would be listed in the student register as well. Take from that what you will.
That wasn't the guy who turned into that giant fire elemental, was it?
You never actually encountered the dwarf. You only saw an article about him, and you knew where he was. You guys just chose not to engage. But he was a former student of this esteemed academy.
We were busy. There was a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah. Listen. Okay. Does my name, Adrian, or anybody else's this group's name?
I think no. Adrian worked directly with Sibilna. He was her cleric.
Yeah.
And she would have specifically had jobs for him. That one may or may not be somewhere in the castle. Right out there. But what else? You were a student of the castle in Thither. You would have had you graduated there, you would have graduated to here.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So you were much younger.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a recap on your own history. It would have been like real young, like 10 or 11, when you and the other members of the children's group were brought here and put through what you now know was meant to be training, but you would have thought of as just fun adventures, more or less.
Gotcha.
Zybilna was known for being able to predict someone of consequence, someone of power. She could look at children and she had a knack for figuring out who might grow to be powerful or important in the realms. And it looks like she had more or less plans to leverage this for whatever reason. You were her test batch, essentially. But she had a handful of children who were likely exceptional in their own right, who had been found by other hags that she had rescued and brought here. Those that she could send home safely, she did, but for a variety of reasons, other kids couldn't leave or couldn't go back. Other people, the hags would continue to hunt for them. Something was done to them, it was too dangerous to put them back where they came from, etc. She brought a large variety of them, a large group of them here to Prismere. Those that were willing and able were brought specifically to this location to learn to use their powers, whether they had been, cast on them by a hag or whether they had awakened a bloodline, something like that. They would all have been brought here.
Gotcha.
Oh yes, the blueprint.
Blueprints, you say?
Yes. Oh yeah, you were out for this one. Hang on a moment. How do I share this? Export to a PDF.
Yeah, we should find out where the batteries go just in case.
My only response to that is childish and lewd, so I'm not going to say anything.
Johnny Ballast is alive.
I get that reference.
Nice. I'll put it in. Probably gonna be too large. It'll let me do it in lore notes. Okay, that'll work. Yep. There's a new entry in lore notes. But I can give you a summary since it's mid-game. You find blueprints of one of the common worker automatons for the castle, very much like Sir Ballast, but you find a bunch of handwritten notes and diagrams all over it, essentially describing how they were trying to alter one of these automatons to be a vessel for the etheric magic. One of the hags specifically, this was her project. You can do like an insight or an investigation to see whose handwriting it is. Was annoyed. Sorry?
The person does robots, the hag that does robots and automatons.
Which one's that?
Oh god, it's the one that's a mistress of here of.
Endolin, right?
No, he had it right. It's Gabatha. She likes automatons.
Oh shit.
Actually, Endolin does too, to be fair. They kind of both share that. But anyway, this is mostly Scabatha's handwriting. She is tired of the constraints of the flesh. She thinks it's the organic material that's breaking down first and causing the problem. So she decided to use what Zybilna had kindly left her, which is essentially a living, walking spell form. And she altered it to try to force it to channel etheric magic. But as the notes will describe, it didn't quite work. and eventually they abandoned the project.
So basically, they wanted to make RoboCop with Aether.
Yes.
Instead, they made.
Does that schematic look like Sir Ballast?
Yes. You can see where they, like you can line up sketches of rune scripts that are like, you know, like off to the side. They're literally on his form.
So they were trying to make him basically increase his capacity for Aether.
Yes. Ignore the last line. I forgot to get rid of it. Yeah, it's fine.
Well, I mean, if they just walked out, they got to be somewhere.
You get the impression that it's actually spelled out in the notes. They didn't do this just once. There were other trials, but still, eventually they abandoned the research. It looks like.
Does it mention any way to take control or any way to, limit what the thing can do? Basically.
No, that was actually the problem, or one of the key problems.
Yes, it's just that these golems gained sentience and were refusing commands. Each batch was, or still was, despite their modifications.
I just don't want a situation where we go up against the hag and she goes, "Oh look, he's back." Says a password's like, "I'm on your side now." Yeah,
my queen.
Yeah.
Would I do that?
So would.
Now you will.
Fucking implant a fucking sleeper agent in the party.
He's already done it once.
Yeah, honestly.
That's true, actually. That's what he was supposed to be. Can you see
he did try to kill
typing
us.
Keys to Sir Ballast in the background?
Well, literally, that's sort of the story of RoboCop, the original RoboCop. They had like prime directives, and they put a secret number 4 in there, where he couldn't arrest or take actions against senior executives of the company.
I think it was like you couldn't arrest a fellow officer. I think.
No, senior executive of the company that built.
Was it just? I thought it was like
The movie, or is that from the cartoon as well?
It's from the movie because at the very end, like the guy who's like the bad guy who put the Director 4 in there has a gun to the CEO, and he's like, "Bob, you're fired." And then the CEO like jumps away, and RoboCop goes, "Thank you," and then is able to shoot the executive.
Yeah, okay.
Like, oh, that was pretty clever.
Yeah, the funny thing is, the guy who was holding the gun to the director said had a Desert Eagle. Like, it was so weird.
It was just the biggest fucking gun they could find.
Yeah, it was funny, but it was weird.
Well, they were using it for demonstrations earlier in the movie.
Yeah, that's true, but it was still.
Something about that villain that they made, the evil RoboCop, something about it like just stuck with me. The way the actor played just a nut job, like, put into a robot's body. Ugh.
The drug addict guy?
Yeah. Is that who they picked? A drug addict?
That was the second movie. He was a drug dealer who was also hooked on the drugs. Well, he was like a Heisenberg, and so that basically they since his brain was in there, they kept on using the drug to control him because his brain wanted the chemical.
Oh yeah, great idea. Everybody really great. Let's give him the drug addict guns and armor.
We love our friendly neighborhood meth robot.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, no, it's okay. They had a built-in control to shut him down until he realized that destroys the controller. It wasn't the best of.
I gotta look that up because I remember that portrayal, and it my young mind was very affected by it.
I never saw the second movie. I only ever saw the first one.
Good.
It's definitely subpar compared to the first movie, but it's a good watch. It's something enjoyable to watch.
I would agree with that.
The third movie is definitely like the black sheep of the family. It's something you look at and you definitely know it's not the same.
Well, the first movie was done by Paul Verhoeven. I think I'm getting the name right, and he does subversive stuff, like he did Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
Which people are like, wow, this is like an action movie with like really Nazi overtones. And
also, that's a series that doesn't get it. There were some later ones, later entries into the Starship Troopers line that were actually pretty decent.
Yeah, but they missed the whole thing of like it was basically almost like a warning of militarism and like the RoboCop. Was
Oh yeah, no, that was all gone. All the subtext, it was all gone in the later ones. Yeah. Absolutely.
Doogie Howser is like the Nazi.
Anyway,
is everyone back?
Is everyone back?
I think so.
Maybe.
Yeah. I think we've all just been sitting here chatting the whole time, having a nice time.
Yeah, it feels like a lazy Monday.
Give you a lore dump. I wasn't sure who was reading what, but yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And those are the cliff notes, but that's the majority of what you find in this room. I mean, there's other stuff you can look for if you like. That's what you find.
Well, I got a natural 20, so anything hidden in here, I'm going to sniff
That's
out.
true. What else? I guess I should just give it to you instead of making you ask more questions.
Oh, thank you.
If you think of anything you want to know, please ask. What else would stand out, though?
Supply? Any possible medical supplies still in here?
Yes.
This was an infirmary.
Yes. If you go up the stairs there, you will find crates. Popping one open will show they are full of alchemy bottles. Each one only holds 4 bottles because they're like really well packed. But there are a bunch of potion bottles up there.
There seems to be a bunch of potion bottles up here.
What?
What
was that?
Bottles for potion? Potion for bottles?
Bottles? Yes. What? Now you have
out of my way.
Yeah, honestly, even with fucking with the strength, the fucking ballast is super heavy to try and move out of the way.
I'm
not actually moving you, don't worry.
I do have a quick question for these little jail cells.
Mm-hmm.
Do they look like they're just holding something, or are they specifically designed but they were just used to hold?
You mean the pod things?
Yeah, or not the pods, the jail cells, like these things.
Oh yeah, those.
Oh, back there, yes.
I'm just wondering if there's like more supplies and they just use this as a thing, or is this supposed to...
Yeah, no, it's more supplies. They just kept it under
Or
lock and
possibly
key.
more,
Gotcha.
more lucrative supplies that had to be under lock and key.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Right,
The more what is it? Opiates in hospitals and whatnot.
I need to lockpick this thing.
Brian,
Hold on.
you after opiates?
He
right
heard
now?
opiates and he was like, "Give me a lockpick."
Okay, I mean, yeah, there's tons of barbiturates in there, I guess. Anyway, no. All right, fuck it. You nat 20 this room.
Fantasy, like codeine.
Sorry, what was that?
Fantasy codeine.
Codeine.
Give me that.
I mean, I was at a party where a guy was walking around just with a handful of Special K, offering it to anyone who wanted it. One of the weirdest fucking parties I've ever been to. High school party too. Anyway, so looking at these pods, you have all the books and everything in front of you. You're able to more or less figure out what was originally going on in this room. The pods are healing chambers, or you might even refer to them as almost like sarcophagi. You could put someone in there with almost any injury, really, and as long as they were alive, it had a 99% chance of bringing them back. The healing that was capable within these sarcophagi was unparalleled, according to the script. It looks like they had found out that if you distill the sap from tree ends, it's also concentrated in their fruits and the apples, you can make a literal aquavitae, an elixir of life. But it needs to be put through a variety of filters and processes to make it into something that people can use. Purely concentrated, it has a mutagenic effect on people, almost like aether rot, but it'll kind of turn you into a tree ant almost. But filtered and distilled, it's able to help the body regenerate from any injury whatsoever. But tree ants are a rare species, and they only produce apples during like mating season, essentially. So tree ant apples are an extremely rare variety. A single ant might only produce 2 or 3 blooms in its entire lifespan. So they looked for something else, and what the hags were instrumental in suggesting was using mimics. They heavily experimented on mimics and were able to essentially force mutate them to produce ant apples that were close enough with the rejuvenative properties that they could actually create one of these pods, multiple of these pods, and use them to heal Zybilna's agents, whatever they happen to be doing. That was the original intent of this room.
No, we do know where there's a ton of tree ants.
Where's that?
The key gal.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Jingle Jangle.
Jingle Jangle. That's her
That's
name.
true. So
Are there any guides in here, any notes or books about life aether gems?
yes, there would be definitely some notes on them, absolutely. But just before I forget, the party might want to ask themselves, were the tree ants brought to Prismere just to be citizens, or were they naturally sought after because perhaps Zybilna knew of their apples and their properties?
Knowing Zybilna, more than likely sought after.
Very possible.
Yep.
She was not an archfey who shied away from what she wanted. But yes, there are a few notes on etheric life crystals. It looks like using them was part of the process to make the mimic apples actually viable. It gave them the authenticity they needed, and apparently neither the hags nor Zybilna was overly concerned with making the mimics deal with the consequences of the etheric rot. But that said, there's also notes saying that the mimics would start to grow little etheric life crystals within their bodies, and they were able to not fully but largely sequester them in their fruit that they made. So the fact that they were bearing apples was actually a means of them to more or less get rid of the excess life aether that was to a toxic degree to them. It talks about harvesting that from the apples safely, which they hadn't quite figured out how to do, if the notes are accurate. And it also postulates what the life crystals might be potentially used for. One of the key notes would be they looks like they can be used to grant things like temporary HP, improve healing spells, And since they are theoretically self-replicating, some of them, they only have a couple uses per day, but they recharge at dawn. So the researchers were very excited about their potential applications. However, there was the constant problem of they were largely unable to use them because they were concentrated with the Chaos Aether. But the other notes discuss the fact that the crystals were found to naturally grow within the solution that was within the sarcophagi. They didn't seem to pose any threat to people that were using them. They were just an annoyance that had to be more or less cleared out every now and again.
Yeah, like I'll grab the notes. Anything I can find on these things.
Mm-hmm.
What's in these boxes?
Yeah, I guess you guys want to loot the room.
You gave us the opportunity. After what we just went through, I think we deserve a little treat.
Oh, fine. I mean, you keep on fighting things and then not like running ahead of the room. You fight this thing and we leave immediately. Okay.
Well, at the same time, like, you beat us to a bloody pulp and expect us to sit there and wait for you to come around with another group? No, thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, we left so quickly. We left Todd behind.
God. Actually, we
He's
left
still
Todd
sitting in that water.
There's another Todd hanging around in the mimics.
It's now Todd's everywhere. Todd's all the way down.
Every room's gonna have a Todd in it.
Well, here's the thing. Maybe they produce it sexually. Maybe there's going to be a little Todd running around.
Oh no. Osmosis. Just multiple Todds splitting off each other.
Okay. All right. I have a couple loot options for you all. So, within the cages below, can I force these open? Looking in, no, I can't. Oh yeah, I can open them like doors. Nice. Well, why don't you pick a door that you would like opened? I blocked one off.
Sure.
Anyone want to pick a door?
Sure. Let's go for... That one.
It's obviously locked.
Wow.
You said pick a door you like.
Yeah, waited until he walked up to it to say that.
Yeah, he walked down the stairs to that.
Pick a door. Oh, this one. Too bad.
Sorry, I can't.
Pick another one.
You suspect that they're all locked.
Try again.
Is anyone able to pick locks?
I am.
Oh,
Uh-uh.
I actually have these tools +1.
Well, there you go.
So you want me to you want to do a door?
Well, I want you to unlock a door, not do a door. But I mean, if you're into that.
Not gonna yuck your yum.
I'm gonna boo this whole
Wow,
conversation. Boo.
Fair enough. All right, I will try and pick the lock.
Guidance.
Okay.
Oh, never mind. He's got it.
1d20.
I'll give you enhance ability to give you advantage.
Oh, cool. So it's gonna be a +8 to this. Oh,
Nat 20.
Oh,
Hey.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty complicated lock. There are something like 6 tumblers in this, but you are a skilled lockpick apparently, as you are able to balance and open all of them, and with a little click, Some skillful balancing, the lock opens and turns. Inside, you find 2 crates and, let's say, 2 barrels. I know there's 3 depicted there, but shut up.
There's 3!
Yeah, shut up.
What the hell, DM?
What the fuck? As you pop them open, you find, well, first of all, I should say that you find there is some rune script along the outside of the box.
Can I read it?
Is it in Primordial?
No. This would be in Sylvan.
Oh, I know Sylvan, so yeah.
Yeah, okay. I think most of us do.
I think Diago's the only one who can.
What, Sylvan? I can read Sylvan.
Diago.
I cannot. I'm gonna get a dummy's guide, or maybe was it?
I gave you the book that I read from.
Book of Languages.
Yeah, that's how I learned Sylvan. I read that book.
On another sad note, Zephyr did offer to teach you too.
A single tear. The rune script around the box is a neat flowing script, and it looks like it's heavily into preservation. Way more than you would expect on a storage crate. But nothing looks dangerous on it, and assuming you pop it open, you find some very well preserved plant matter. Inside, it looks like some of the more choice items that have been harvested on the grounds were stored here under lock and key.
Seems to be just a bunch of herbs in here.
A bunch of what?
Are you deaf? I must ask. Because if you are, I will speak louder for you.
There's no need to be. There's no need for the sass.
I'm on the roof. Help me,
Sir Ballast.
I'm not sass. No, I was being concerned. If there is somebody in the party hard of hearing, I must know. They must be accommodated.
Where are the herbs?
The herbs are here. So, the 4 bottles you find up top in those boxes are oddly small, and they contain a very, very thick liquid. When you upend them, or if you turn them at all, you might think it's completely solidified within, but it does very slowly, like thicker than glue. You would find on it, it says Dreadwood Shadow Resin. There's like a little manifest, and you might be able to find what that does inside like a potion book or something. There's also a manifest in the box you find, Sir Ballast. The first thing you see is a little odd. It's like a tray, a silver tray, and it has a bunch of they look like twigs that have been whittled into small little like splinters almost. When looking at the manifest, those are likely Dreadwood Splinter, and then there's a little description. It says a shard of the Dreadwood. There are a total of 4 of those as well. Let's see here. There are large leaves that look very similar to like a banana leaf, if you're familiar with those, but about a quarter of its size. Still quite large, but not huge. Anyway, looking at the manifest, those would likely be the leaves of the Hexweaver oak. It has a note on them saying venomous. Are 4 of those as well.
Venomous or poisonous?
Poison. Okay, so poison. Okay, let's go over this real quick because we've had this conversation like 5 times already. So, poison is like saying something is a quadrilateral. Poison covers both toxins and venoms.
Mm-hmm.
Toxins are things you eat it, inhale it, ingest it, inject it. It hurts. Venoms, they bite you. It hurts. Okay? But both are poisons.
I guess toxic leaves would be more appropriate.
Easier way to say it is that if you lick a colorful frog, that's poisonous. If a colorful frog bites you, that's venomous.
They're all poisonous.
Yes, but
that's toxic.
It's the action, not so much the...
Is that really the distinction between venom and poison?
Yeah,
the delivery system?
That's legitimate. Poisonous is if you consume it. Venomous is something injected into you, or is forced into.
Well, poison covers both.
True, but venom is directly.
Say venom. The big difference is venom and toxin, because venom and toxin are both poisons.
Yes.
But that's all that's in there. Any more might be dangerous.
Okay. Using my gloves. How many leaves did you say?
This box has groups of 4.
Ooh. And what was it? Sorry, what was the plant?
Hexweaver oak.
Hexweaver oak leaves, and I'll just grab 4. Wrap them up safely. Okay. Yenris, excitedly looking at all this,
says, shall we open the other ones?
Well, do you have the manifest? Is there a particular one you're interested in?
Yeah, sorry. The manifest, is it on the outside of the door or inside? Is it like this is in the box, or
they're inside sitting.
We'll have to open them to find out what's in them.
But wouldn't the manifest have the idea of give you just description of what's in each box?
Once you open the box.
No.
Yes. The manifest is in the box.
Yeah. Are the manifests.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, we have to open the gates to get to them.
Okay, so you guys want to help me again?
Sure.
Your advantage is maintained. It lasts for an hour, as long as I maintain the spell.
Guidance. Alright, then I will... Okay, so 8, 16, 2 is 18.
18. You just managed to open the next one. Which one are you opening?
Leave it to them, they decide.
Yeah, let's just go down the line.
Okay, so I guess the next one.
In here... You find the manifest says snarling ash, 4 bricks, and you do find 4 little misshapen clumps. These aren't like what you would get in a charcoal bag from the store. These look like they are like almost like petrified wood, but if you pick them up, they do have that ashy, charcoaly feel. You find 4 briquettes of that. 4 vials of, it says morning maples, sap of the morning maple. It's MOURN.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
That kind of boarding. Got it.
Zephyr.
And lastly in that box there are twilight yew leaves. There's only 2 of these. They're large, very funky looking. The leaf itself is green, but the veins are like a very deep purple. It kind of looks like a kale on an acid trip. There's like swirling patterns within it.
And you said they're all in bundles of 4?
Except for those last 2. The last one was in a bundle of 2.
The Twilight Yew and the Morning Maple Sap was in 2? It's 2 vials?
The sap had 4.
Ooh, okay. This is fun. I don't know what these leaves do.
Mm-hmm. Not all concernings here.
The barrels...
Yes, they can all be horrendously toxic to even be near.
Very true. The barrels, by the way, in that room at least, contain liquid lye and a whole bunch of wax.
Liquid lies, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I thought liquid lies as well. Impressive.
Alright.
And wax?
Yes.
Okay.
Alright, guess down the line. Next cell.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next room.
I know there's ones
go.
behind the... Ignore, like, these ones. Like, they're not...
Yeah, I figured they were impossible to get to.
Okay, so 28.
Yeah, that's an open. Which one's next? In here, you find 4 bottles of arsenic.
Yes.
Any old lace?
So, something that smells super. Oh, what does arsenic smell like? The cinnamon?
Burnt almonds.
Almonds.
No, that's cyanide. Sorry.
Thank you. So yeah.
No, sorry, that's cyanide. My bad.
You're right.
What does arsenic smell like? It has no smell.
You might be right.
Arsenic has no smell. It is a colorless, odorless, and tasteless metal-like substance. It's found in soil.
There is also a vial of cyanide.
Arsenic.
Sounds like iocane powder.
There is a ton of different salts in this room.
Are there bath salts? Because if we take those before a fight, I think we get advantage.
Jesus.
Yeah, but you end up fighting your own feet and trying to eat each other, so it gets pretty awkward.
Immunity to all damage.
They are very well labeled. They are from across the multiverse. They are in a variety of colors, but there is 2 boxes absolutely full of different varieties of salt. Some of them even are in rainbow colors and shift as you look at them. They're labeled from all across the multiverse. You would guess they have different alchemical uses and properties.
So, above table, who wants to start our market stall arc after we loot this castle?
Yeah, after we get everything out of this castle, we're going back to Neverwinter. We're making bank. We are making bank.
Multiversal salt. Season your foods with the taste of the multiverse.
There you go. Our own restaurant.
The nobles would eat that shit up.
Our own hotel. Oh, I can already see it. We are gold. The DM's like, oh god, please.
Fuck.
Give me this.
What are these people
Drink.
doing?
Oh shit, I don't know if they actually will or won't.
These clowns in my well-written story, and they're just gonna open up a inn. Oh god.
I've often wondered if you could do a game that was like a more like a slow life D&D. I don't know if you could as a group.
It
could.
I actually got a module that was more revolved around crafting. That was like crap, I can't remember what it was called. But it was just more of like a cozy, just like crafting adventures, and like, you know, all the like it added additional familiars, and it was like, yeah, here's like a yarn kitten or whatever. It was more revolved around like using your class and class abilities to like enhance crafting and vice versa.
That's neat.
And just kind of like a weird little.
I mean, I like the idea with the right group if everyone's down for that. Yeah.
I mean, there's that sort of Studio Ghibli-esque module. Not module.
Ooh, that would be insanely cool.
Tales of Obojima or something like that?
Yeah.
Tales from Obojima.
I'd heard of that.
Having a moving in.
Yeah, Obojima, Tales from the Tall Grass.
Ah, there we go. Found it. Witch plus craft. Astrolabe pressed.
I will also say that Obojima one, the goal was $10,000. It made $2.6 million.
Jeez.
With 23,000 backers.
Okay, so there's some interest in that. That's cool.
Mm-hmm. What is this? 3,416. Yeah. An average $111. Very cool. Yeah, it's very Studio Ghibli. That is like their own, like, you can tell by the art, but it's very Studio Ghibli. But they also describe themselves as a Studio Ghibli-esque.
I mean, I love I love them, so.
Yeah, and it's like a not modern, but like not arcade. Like there's trucks and vending machines with potions in them and shit like that.
That's cool. Okay. All right, what's the name of it? I'm gonna look it up.
Obojima. I will.
Just link it because I'm never gonna spell that. I can barely spell my own freaking name after that.
Yeah, I'll find it a lot. Tales from the Tall Grass. I'll link the Kickstarter. There.
Giving you guys a loot table, so this is all happening. All right. I think we have time for like one or two more. Why don't we do that, and then before the session ends tonight.
Okay, what's behind door number 4?
Yeah.
Bees.
I don't need your modifier. You pop it open.
Can we just
Right. Who's over there?
I do want to specify, I don't pick up any of the like arsenic and cyanide. I don't.
Okay,
I leave that stuff alone.
What?
Zephyr
Have the person who doesn't have to breathe handle those volatile substances.
That would make sense. Can each of you give me a D100, please?
Sure.
All of us?
Yeah, the two of you. You're standing there.
Oh, okay.
98.
98.
Oh, well, I think I was the 98.
Oh, I got a 33.
That's stupid. I'm gonna give you better for a 98 because that's really stupid.
We both become stupid.
Yes. No. It says you find a chain. I hate that.
Oh.
Nice.
You find a barrel full of chains.
Yeah.
So there is a dagger in there. I will give you the stats of that later. They just have a chain in there.
Like an iron chain.
I mean, it just says chain.
A cold iron chain.
I received a book of random tables as a gift, and I tried it out. And an 98 is apparently a chain. I'm upset by it. Sorry.
Hell yeah.
You guys something. Wait, hang on. For 98, you found something cool. Okay. For a 98, I'm just gonna give you the no idea how to say that. Paris, EERIAPT.
Oh, periapt.
Periapt?
Periapt
of health. It's an uncommon item. While wearing this pendant, you can make a magic action to regain 2d4 plus 2 hit points. Once used, can't begin using it until next dawn. In addition, you have advantage on saving throws to avoid or end the poison condition.
Oh, is that new version or?
Yeah, you might want to.
Yes, with the mention of magic action, that is a 2024 item.
Is it?
I mean,
the legacy version is you're just immune to disease, and if you're already infected with the disease, the effects of the disease are suppressed while you wear the pendant.
Which would you rather?
I would rather the one that makes me immune to disease.
That's what you get.
Personally, I'll take that, especially because it doesn't require attunement.
Oh, there you go. What the hell is a magic action?
Magic action is basically instead of just using an action to cast a spell, it's called a magic action, which is casting a spell.
Okay.
It's just one of the terminology things in 2024.
I feel like that change didn't need to happen, but
yeah, sure.
I guess there's the attack action, now the magic action.
I guess, yeah, sure.
Best I got.
I'm pretty sure that's why they probably did that. Are we gonna do door number 6 or leave it there?
You can do one more door.
What did Zephyr get anything on a 33?
I believe that was the dagger.
Yeah, he did a dagger that I have to give him the stats for.
Okay, we got another 18.
Which is just enough.
Yep, that is just enough.
Let's fucking go.
Yeah, this is fun. Oh, this is better. Okay.
D100s?
Yeah. Let's end the night with 3 rolls. Whoever hasn't rolled yet, give me some D100s.
Okay.
I haven't done it yet.
32.
69.
Nice. What a way to end the night.
That's 6.
And then we need one more roll.
Oh, I guess for D100?
Yep.
Yeah.
75.
What is the Staff of the Magi doing here?
Is that an Archmage robe?
A 32, you find a potion of speed.
Ooh.
So more cocaine.
Hell yeah.
Liquid
Fantasy
cocaine.
It's
70,
liquid pervitin.
75?
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty good. Alright, fine. Potion of Storm Giant Strength.
Oh, Jesus. Isn't that like the best one?
I think
so.
Yeah, it's one of the better ones, yeah.
Yeah.
And then what was the last number?
69.
Oh, of course. All right, we have to end with that, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, hang on. What is this? That sounds really appropriate. I want to do everything very healing themed in here, but that dull quick. So what is this?
Potion of erectile dysfunction.
Potion of
If this potion, the effects of this potion lasts more than 4 hours, please seek out the nearest cleric.
Yeah.
I think this is appropriate for a 69 and to end the night. You find a bag of tricks. I'll let you pick real quick. Whoever rolled a 69, tan, rust, or gray.
That'd be Diago.
I'm gonna go rust.
You find a rust-colored bag of tricks. When you use it, you can roll a d8 and summon one of 8 animals. I will link them very quickly.
And I think you roll on the table when you do it.
Is this...
Well, typically you do want to roll on a table when you're rolling for something, so...
Yeah, that's the table you can roll.
Now, is this a one-time use?
No.
I think you get the number of charges or number of charges per
bag
day. I
made
can't
from
remember.
rust-colored cloth. Reach inside the bag. You feel the presence of small, fuzzy objects. It weighs about a half a pound. You can use an action to pull one of the fuzzy objects from the bag and throw it up to 20 feet. When the object lands, it transforms into a creature you determine by rolling on the table. The creature vanishes at the next dawn or when it's reduced to 0 HP. It's friendly towards you. Acts on your turn. You can use a bonus action to command it. Can't be used again until the next dawn. Once 3 fuzzy objects have been pulled. You get 3 uses until the next dawn. So theoretically, you could go into battle with 3 dire wolves or 3 weasels. You know.
I don't exactly have those. I think my best one is like the giant boar or brown bear.
Oh, that's true. You have the different list. Yeah.
But imagine if they were like hostile for everybody, just throw a brown bear on their ground, like run.
I'm gonna link you the Roll20 doc for this because it actually has clickable links to all of the stats for the creatures. You might want to save it.
Hang on to that
in general, actually.
Great. So now you got rid of all the summoning spells, and now you're giving it back. I love it.
So yeah, we're a little past session, so we'll end it here tonight. Last thing of relevance I can think of is the healing items that you found seem to have notes associated with them that the only reason they're here was not to be used but to be studied. Looks like Zybilna was really trying to figure out how to be the best healer she could be, and she was willing to study any magical items, reagents, or potions that she could get her hands on to do so. Things that also interested her were things like things that increased like base stats like strength and stamina, etc. Seem to have all been of interest to her, and all were being studied here. But with that, thank you all for playing, and hope you had a good evening.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good night, folks.
Good game. Good night, folks.
Good night, everybody.
Stop asking me hard questions, damn it.
Hey, DM, what's the meaning of life?
I don't know.
This module was written by idiots, okay? They don't know. I don't know.
Who's ever writing this stuff as an idiot? Oh, some of it's me. Shit. I do love the Witchlight module, but it's been very eye-opening as to how Wizard does modules, and it seems very hodgepodge to me. Which, if you've ever DM'd one of their modules, is probably very apparent. Like Strahd's very linear, I think, but there's always those little cues of like random characters that really don't have any backstory. They're just sort of there, and it's just up to the DM to do whatever the hell you feel like with them. And it can be a little bit of a landmine sometimes when you're DMing. Like,
yeah,
I mean, just going through the material, and who's this guy? Oh, it's Fred. Who's Fred? I don't fucking know. There's a picture and everything. I don't know who the hell he is.
Sorry, you're breaking up, but yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, that's probably a clue then.
Yeah.
Have a good night, dude. Let me know if there's anything you want to talk about with your character backstory. I know I inserted a little bit back there, but we discussed it beforehand.
Oh yeah, like I'm fully aware of the whole like I gotta say, reading through that document, I'm like, God damn, he wrote that already. I didn't know that he would make that to fit so well.
I just sometimes inspiration strikes,
Yeah.
And I also I like to use like AI to like clean up my shit. So my when I write stuff out, it's very like free form, and I'm like, hey, can you like make this grammatically fit and make it like presentable to other people?
Mm-hmm.
So that really helps me make it presentable.
In
a timely manner. But yeah, no, your character was fun. It fit. It also fit the setting very well. It was easy to drop it in.
Yeah, because like a lot of the messing with elementals and Magitech stuff, I'm like, why don't you just do an elemental that's been bound to a suit of armor and make it a Warforged? You
know? It totally fits what this place is. They were, they found a bunch of more or less living weapons that were being trained, and they figured, okay, let's keep that going, but let's make sure that we can control them as well.
Mm-hmm.
From the notes, I hope it's pretty obvious the hags really like to be in charge of what they're running. And when they couldn't properly control you, well, they tried to just shut you down and leave you here.
Mm-hmm.
But you woke up.
I say the only thing I probably need to figure out is his connection to Mr. Firecloak here, or how his devotion to Firecloak started.
Yeah, I wasn't ready for that, but we can loop that in. There's a number of ways. Perhaps if he's a god of the forge and the fire, maybe the simple fact that you were accumulating lots of fire mana brought you to his attention, and he wanted to have an agent here. I like gods like working in that way. That seems to fit very D&D. They're not really personal intervention. They're really more empower someone to do what I want them to do. And hope they don't die.
And also, plus, it really fits that the god is extremely not picky on followers because he barely has any right now. Because he's currently trying to rebuild his following after having to kill off a lot of his followers.
Would you like him to be like pro Zybilna, like wants to be like toward her favor? Or would you like him to be antagonistic towards someone that doesn't like Zybilna? Like he could be like rage hating on Grazit or something, and wants to just put agents in front of him, or in his path of what he wants.
Yeah. I'd say he'd probably be pro Zybilna because, as I said before, a lot of his stuff got torn down because either he got or his followers got tricked by a drow god. So I think he's probably trying to curry favor with whoever he can to try and build up what he once had.
Nice. And he's the god of the Ford. What did he mostly craft? Anything?
Here, let me pull up his.
Yeah. She was very interested, Zybilna, in like magical research and God of the Forge. There's a numerous reasons she might have reached out.
Yes. Draw Firecloak was once an intermediate god known as Tilvinar, and served the god Rylthane Rylithil. However, an incident with an ancient artifact caused several of his avatars to go mad, causing them to go on a destructive rampage. Although his avatars eventually got cured, many elves forsook him, and he fell to demi-power status. He eventually left Arvindor, which is the elven celestial realm, to live in Arcadia instead. and renamed himself Doral Firecloak in attempts to regain his status as an intermediate power. He forges ties with other deities outside the Celadrin and sought to convert other peoples besides elves. Yeah. There we go. Drow Firecloak was originally part of the Elven Pantheon, the Seldarin, and served under so-and-so, but after being offered a cursed artifact by Loth and the unseelie Queen of Air, his avatars went berserk and caused a great deal of destruction before being pacified again. However, the damage had been done, and Droll lost many of his followers, while also being shunned by the other elven deities. Droll left the plane of Arvenor and made his home in the first layer of Arcadia, where he first took the name Droll Firecloak and began to reinvent himself. Droll is now much more open to non-elvish followers and alliances with non-elven deities such as Dumathion of the dwarves, Urogalan of the halflings, and Flandel Steelskin of the gnomes.
Yeah, okay, that'll work. I mean, what's her name? Tiana is mentioned in Zybilna's, as one of Zybilna's, like, trade partners, at least. And she's the polar opposite of the Queen of, the Unseelie of Air and Magic, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So if he has a history with her, then yeah, sure. That'll work. Olna would definitely be opposed to her. At least on paper. But all right, that's my time. Thanks for playing tonight, and I'm gonna log off. Good night.
Yeah, see you.